This is breaking news from around the day sport. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
I'm Jack.
I'm Amon. This is
Around the
Bay Sports. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's a Friday. Sorry to stop you on your Friday enjoyment, but this news came quite sudden. We were waiting when it will happen. We thought maybe wait until next week, give us the full crew analysis, but it's just going to be Jack and I. Right now, Drew and Jesse enjoying the Giants as they're playing the Angels tonight. But, folks, as you can tell, based on our theme, the King of Liberty, LeBron, has decided to go to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers were a team he did say he wanted to go, and there was some news of like Maxey leading the charge to try to convince LeBron to join. And as we know, we've been talking. It was the Heat, the Cavs, the Warriors, and the Sixers were one of them. The Warriors, though, were more of a dark horse option. It wasn't like 100%, but if he wanted to do it, he would do it. Well, it couldn't have been Miami because you heard what happened with all that speculation. They were just prepping the party already for him, though he has never decided. So if you do something like that, you're off the hook. Cleveland, you figured, well, if this is the end, you might as well end it where it all began. That's not the case. He did say a message on socials on why he picked this team. And right now, folks, the Avengers, you could say in this point, is LeBron with Philly, with Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, and hopefully at least a 50% of Joel Embiid, as we know he's quite injury prone. But just imagine that squad alone, and it's also to share. LeBron did say this will be his last to end his grand career. He signed a 2-year, $8 million with a player option, so he might do a one and done or just play through the 2 years and hung it up and see if he can give a city that's been dying for a ring since Dr. J and Moses Malone. We'll see if it happens. But Jack, take it away on your thoughts.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how yesterday I was mentioning that like LeBron, he still hasn't made his decision yet, and then all of a sudden, fast forward to the next day, and all of a sudden he makes this announcement. When I found out this announcement, I was literally just at work, and like I get like an ESPN notification. Then I start getting some texts from people, and I'm like, okay, something definitely happened. And then I look at my phone for like a little bit, and I see LeBron James signs a 2-year, $8 million contract with the 76ers. To me, this is completely unexpected because when I heard like LeBron possibly like the Sixers interested, I'm kind of like, there's no way he's just going to go to Philadelphia because Philadelphia, the Sixers have a reputation of choking in the playoffs almost more than any other team. And the fact that LeBron decided to go there of all places, not to like Miami or Cleveland or even the Warriors. If you went to the Warriors, I'm like, okay, but that's again, it's another great so-called offseason for the Warriors doing absolutely nothing. But it's of all teams, why Philadelphia? You could have at least found like I would have even if he went to like the Wizards, I would have been like, okay, that's pretty cool. But like the 76ers, well, also, why would LeBron want to go to Philadelphia? Do you know how hostile the fans are going to be to you if you don't win the championship in one of those like 2 seasons? And then all of a sudden, LeBron, he'll eventually be like, oh, yeah, I regret it. Because you could have been teammates with the greatest point guard of all time. And you know what? After seeing all this, seeing everything that's like going on, the power of friendship that Draymond tries to do with LeBron doesn't mean a damn thing. There's no power of friendship does not exist in the business world, and it's sad.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that LeBron didn't go to the Warriors. That's not a surprise to me. What I am surprised about is the team he went to, because that to me was highly unexpected.
but you asked why, and I did a little quick research, and pretty much saying that the reason he did this was because he was driven by his own desire to compete for another championship, calling it his last decision, and he states that about having deep love for the game, and he also noted that he is ready to, and I quote, sacrifice work and grind to help Philly for the first title since 1983. So it seems like in this case, yes, for the Warriors, we've won a bit, haven't won in a while. Okay, Cleveland. He already gave him one, as we know. The night.
Yeah, he could have gone back home and then he'd retire as the Cav. Is he going to tell us that he's going to be retiring as a 76? At this point, he's just another journeyman in the NBA.
No. This is what he stated, that this is it. He's going. This is the only team. So he might.
He's going to retire as a Sixer.
The Sixers is his last. He's going to play. He's probably going to play it through, and that's that. He's done. I mean, the man's almost 50. So, I mean, just think of LeBron's career at this point. He's done so much enough. It makes sense now. At least have one of the team and let it be this closing chapter. You know,
I guess, but it just. And again, he wants, like, I saw, like, the articles, like, he wants to win and everything, and it's a good team. So their starting lineup will basically be Tyrese Maxey, DJ Edgecombe,
Jaylen
Brown, LeBron, and Joel Embiid. There is no defense there.
Of course not. And as we know, that don't really matter in this NBA. So this might be the best lineup for just how the NBA is.
Yeah, but also, if you look at the Sixers' entire lineup, they don't really have a bench.
But it's funny enough, I've seen a lot of skits, and people think seeing a move like this is what, like, the Philadelphia Eagles, their GM does. They feel like it's the Eagles GM in disguise to help now the basketball team out, to hopefully give them a good push and help a guy out to help.
I mean, now my question is, what's Draymond gonna do?
So that's our quick talks. But now, as Jack was slowly about to lead on, is now all the teams that were on his list: the Warriors, the Heat, the Cavs. Like, what's now Plan B? But let's just start keeping it with the Bay, the Warriors. As we know, Draymond declines player option to give us enough money to at least put a good offer in for LeBron if he wanted to join. So, I don't know. I saw one media post saying we might just pay Draymond, I don't know, the big bucks, or at least pay him just the whatever lengthy contract. I know the man. Of course, Draymond is kind of getting to that age. So, I mean, he's still a hell of a defender for us. But, yeah, like, what do you think, Jack? Like, just going with the Warriors now. Missed our shot on the lottery on LeBron.
I mean,
to have our fantasy.
The Warriors missed their shot on everybody. They were rumored to get the following players. Like, I'm not going to say all. They were rumored they were going to get every single one of these guys in the offseason, because there's no way they're going to get all these guys on, like, one team. But they were rumored to get the following guys: LeBron, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Paul George, or Nikola Vucevic. Where did Nikola Vucevic go to? He went back to the Magic, right?
Yeah.
Where did Paul George go? He went to the Celtics. Where did Giannis go? He went to Miami. Where did Kawhi Leonard go? He went back to Toronto.
No,
Where is Anthony
that's
Davis?
still on hold.
Yeah, no. Where's that's a whole. Where's Anthony Davis? Still in DC. Where's LeBron? Now he's in Philadelphia. So the Warriors again miss out on a superstar for Steph. Now there's a chance. Now, if you want to get a consolation prize, you could try to sign James Harden, who's also available. But I mean, I wouldn't count that at all because
show. All right.
I mean, that's kind of fair.
That's fair.
But like, if you can try to recreate a LeBron type in like Yaxel Lindeborg, I'm not saying that's who he's going to be, but if you could try to recreate that for Steph, then Steph could have like a good final days before he like decides to retire.
Like,
just like when if I was honestly Steph and I saw these guys sign elsewhere, I would seriously consider retirement.
Like you said about Lindeborg, like we're trying to think who's going to help Curry out, but I feel like we might have our person.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that Steve Kerr said he might start him next season.
So there's that, because at this point for the Warriors, you kind of have to think to build all these young talents we have, and start getting them minutes. So then at least we know when eventually Curry decides to hang it up, where at least be like, all right, we know the future's bright because we have Lindeborg or wherever else that will come into play. I mean, yeah, if best comes to worst, it's probably the most terrible decision. But if he's available, you might as well just do a Harden and just let it be, even though that might not be the best fit, in my opinion. But if he's best available, I mean, it would be nice getting a Vucevic, or maybe a Paul George won't be too bad. But as we know, he went, as Jack mentioned, where they went. So, I mean, Harden, I think right now there's some issue going on with him at this moment. I think that's been happening. So hopefully, if best comes to worst, I know we're probably going to pay Draymond now at this point. I don't know how much, but everyone's going to pay him. Not going to let him go. Jesse mentioned, I wish he was here, but he did mention something about firing his agent. So I'm kind of curious what he meant by that. But fortunately, he's not here, so we'll ask him when he joins us. Joins us in our current day of our podcast episode. But yeah, but now just think of the other teams. What about the Cavs?
Or, also you could sign DeMar DeRozan. He's still available.
There's DeMar.
I think honestly, either DeMar DeRozan or James Harden is the Warriors' last hope to salvage an offseason.
Or just at least get something.
And I mean, DeMar DeRozan just playing in Sacramento. DeMar DeRozan just needs to take like an hour drive to the Bay, and he doesn't have to go anywhere.
I know Draymond tried to recruit him before Durant joined, and DeRozan's like, no. But maybe if he just wants to, just for a year. Don't have to be here forever. Just
sign like a 2 or 3 years something.
I don't know. I don't know cap.
It's going to be tricky if we somehow get DeMar DeRozan. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jimmy Butler. If they trade him, or just one of them's got to sit. Yeah. Well, actually,
I feel like.
Hold on. If you actually do that, it would be Steph at the point, DeMar DeRozan the guard, Jimmy Butler the small, Draymond the power, Porzingis at the center. That wouldn't actually be a bad lineup. That would actually
not bad. I just don't know how the chemistry is going to work.
Yeah, I know, but it's just something you got to work on the offseason. I mean, the Warriors didn't kick it off right away with KD. It took time.
Sorry. Say what you just said.
I mean, it took time for the Warriors and KD to like click together, because like KD's used to like being the man, but then like he joined the Warriors, and then it was like him and Steph were like equals and all this other stuff. So, I mean, I just think if you can like get this thing is like
the thing is what I want to say. The way this NBA is, and Juan mentioned just saying like, forget the old, think of the new and the young. Because in this NBA, it's like really right now about that. This ain't the mid-2000s anymore. It's about trying to either build a new chapter for the next chapter of all these franchises, than trying to like I mean, sure, the Sixers, they're pretty much in a win now mode since they got LeBron. I mean, heck, we probably would have seen them in the postseason if they didn't win the LeBron stakes. Anyway, but just for the Warriors, it's like there's sure we could get a Draymond, we could get a Harden, but honestly, I feel like just keep it as it is and just see how it goes. It might not be pleasant, but I think the best part to see for this coming up season is the young talent like Lindenberg, and you said about the Gonzaga guy if he joins on our last episode yesterday. Like you said about the Gonzaga guy, if he joins up, we maybe will see this talent. At this point, it's just talent for us. We gotta start thinking. I feel like we need to start thinking of that more. I get it. We haven't won in 4 years. That's why I thought I had the banner up here, but we haven't won in 4 years. I mean, for me, 2022, I felt satisfied. We beat Boston. I mean, heck, what a way to win that title with Curry against a team that's been winning for centuries. So, that's just me. I feel like just stick with the young. Sure, I get what you said about the whole, get just someone just established. Sure, but I feel like just keep it as it is.
Yeah, it's just to me though. It's just Mike Dunleavy. He's not a good general manager. I think the Warriors need to get rid of him, and I think it was a mistake and a case of not only being an alumni because he used to play for Warriors, but a little bit of nepotism because of his dad. I think the Warriors need to go hire someone else. I would say me, but they're obviously not going to hire me. Let's hire someone that has a better
Well, we can't
resume.
Trying to do a rebuild like this, you can throw it into an NBA 2K. It's a little different than that unless you put some ground rules that make it at least realistic. So
I don't like the direction the Warriors are going in. It's not good for Steph. And if LeBron, one of the first people I was thinking about was how is Steph gonna react to this?
I like when they brought it up about LeBron, he kind of just ignored it and just saying about golf. He's kind of just ignoring all that skeptical because it's just it's the off season. Enjoy it. I mean, let the whole media beehive start buzzing around and maybe come around to get an opinion. But I just feel like that was key. I know he did say something about when they asked if you wanted to persuade him, what would you say? And he said, I don't know what was the quote he said, but he said something if he wanted to give it a try. But in reality, it's just hey, if you got him, you'd be great, But in reality, he's just enjoying the off season. So gotta let him be. I mean, sure, he'll have his own opinions if we get some ESPN alert, someone wanted to ask him. But right now, I think Curry's fine. But let's go to the other teams. I know we're fixing on the Warriors because it felt like, heck, a fantasy could have came true. But let's focus on the other teams. We had, of course, the Cavs, and we had the Heat. It felt like, if I was thinking Miami, because, heck, they need something. You want to talk about they need something? Miami needs something.
Yeah, Miami, they got Giannis.
They got Giannis, but you figured, you talk about DeRozan and Harden. Heck, Miami at this point might as well take a DeRozan. That won't be bad. I mean, I have Andrew Wiggins, but they could take a DeRozan or maybe a Harden. But I feel like you want to talk about move. I feel like the Heat needs to do something like that because right now they're pretty they got Giannis. They thought could get really lucky, try to get a two for two, but of course it didn't happen today. So, I mean, for Miami, they kind of need something to try since they sacrificed half their young talent to the Bucks and an all-star player. So it's they need to try to make a team enough to try to compete for this coming up season.
You know what though? Of all this, I don't blame LeBron. I blame the Celtics for all this. Why? Because Jaylen Brown went from the Celtics to the Sixers, and Jaylen Brown was one of the leaders of recruiting LeBron to the 76ers. So if the Celtics don't trade Jaylen Brown yet, if they didn't trade him, or just trade him to another team. And if they had done that, LeBron doesn't go to Philadelphia. Probably doesn't even mention Philadelphia in the same name as him in any ESPN article. He would have probably gone to like Cleveland or the Heat or the Warriors or some other team.
I had a weird dream. You said about since you said some other team. Funny enough, we were talking about it so much yesterday. My brain decided to do some scenario where we get a breaking news in the middle of the day, which usually sometimes something like this is middle of the day. And then I had some weird thing that it showed LeBron decided to join the Rockets. And it was it was weird. I'm the Rockets. So that's why I shared that in our message group. But wouldn't that be funny? If somehow if the Rockets swooped in, because I feel it just told me some team that he didn't say is trying to slip in to do a backside deal,
or he could just do a DeAndre Jordan. Just I think, I don't know. There's some loophole in the contract thing where he didn't.
The amount of money he got was, I don't know, I think it was less than DeAndre Jordan's deal.
Yeah, and it was I think the veteran minimum or something.
Yeah, but for 2 years,
which is insane to me because the Sixers actually could still get more players.
Yeah, he just signed a minimum. LeBron just signed a minimum contract. He didn't do 2 years, $50 million, 2 years, $45 million. Didn't do all that. He just did $8 million. I think that was just he only had the Sixers might have just enough since the Brown trade to do at least a minimum offer and just give it to LeBron and see if he take it or leave it. But then, the Cavs. What about the Cavs?
That was a team I was mostly expecting to go to because with him, Donovan Mitchell, they would be a great duo, and they have all those other guys like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But I'm just honestly shocked he didn't sign a 1 year and say after this year I'm going to retire.
Well, yeah, he technically signed over 2 years, one. But I don't know, that's true. But I feel for Cleveland, or maybe LeBron's maybe point of view when he thought of the Cavs, Mitchell's kind of not LeBron, but he's kind of the next chapter for him for just Cleveland. Since he signed with the Cavs, sure, postseason luck hasn't been in their favor, but the Cleveland crowd kind of or enjoying. And of course, they want him. Of course, I'm not speaking all of Cleveland. Of course, if there's LeBron, they want him. But I figure just before all this, Mitchell, it's promising and people enjoy, they see him as their next Cleveland star, you could say, I know postseason luck hasn't been there. It's been a struggle within this career. But I feel maybe he thought since they already have something. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned
it just feels like he hit the random button and said of all the teams I picked, it's kind of the thing where you go on 2K or whatever sports thing you play and you pick certain teams and you press a random button and that's the team you go with.
Well,
that's probably what LeBron did.
I guess you could say that because it's remember what? Yeah, even Adam Silver was trying to pressure him to decide so they can get this. Remember, this schedule was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago. Or a week at least ago, but instead he wanted LeBron. So then at least if this is his last year, then I can make play 15 or 20 primetime games or something. Yeah, so it just felt fine. I'll just say Philly just to get this over with in a way. But he did stated saying that he noted that saying he wants. He sees a city, as we know, hasn't won since 1983, since Dr. J. Moses Malone, and they're dying. I mean, just think of Philly's history. Allen Iverson. List goes on and on, but I just know AI. It just pops in my brain. But remember, they haven't won since '83, and you figure now since the Knicks just finally and helped New York out to finally win a title for after so long. Now we can. It's almost like he saw that. Maybe that kind of convinced him. But this is what he said, thing about last decision, and he noted that he's ready for, and I quote, sacrifice, work, and grind and help Philly give its first title. I feel like he just thought that's the most that city seems desperate. Let me help them out. You know, he just get it one more ring. I mean, his agent was saying something about like he didn't want that. So that was probably just trying to avoid the media there.
Yeah, and it's just I just don't know what to. I just don't know. What to
I mean,
like.
it's no, like it is crazy. Like as a commentator saying, like, why, like, what the heck is he doing in Philly? But it's like,
yeah, that's like that one picture of the polar bear in Texas. That's what this literally is.
Yeah. So I mean, so as we conclude our reaction to this chaotic, interesting signing of a player of this gratitude to go to Philly of all places, as we've been mentioning.
It's like I was like Philadelphia.
Like it was like first thing, like 8 something in the morning, 8:40. It's like
for me, it was like
dropped it
around noon.
I was like Philly. I was reading it like LeBron James signed to Philly. It's like, oh, okay. And now
if we went to the Warriors, though, my phone would have been ringing off the hook.
Yeah, I want to.
I mean, it was just mostly because you guys were texting me, and then I like saw the notification, that I like told people after and everything else.
To end our breaking news, do you think will LeBron play one of the two or both?
I think it just depends on how year one goes.
Because the next question is, will Philly win? We'll go back to back.
I think that's too strong to say quite yet.
Or just one of the
two.
Two.
I think in the choking and also the nature of injuries that do tend to happen. LeBron's body is getting older, and he's been getting injured like more often. And who is probably the number one guy on that entire roster who gets injured more than anyone else? Who is it?
Embiid. As we said,
injuries are also going to be playing a major part in this, because I'm also more concerned about like what's the health of Embiid, because I know Jaylen Brown, he's good, even though his teammate during the time Jason Tatum got hurt. Tyrese Maxey, he can like be injured every now and then. Like the 76ers are an injury rattled team. It's no secret. So it's kind of like the Niners' situation. Like if you're healthy, you're going to be really good. If you're not, you're going to stink. So I think it's a matter of how healthy the Sixers going to be for an entire season. If injuries were turned off, I would say they're going to be like probably number 2 or 1 in the East.
I'll say at least 3, because as you know, injuries and luck, I guess.
Yeah. And then there's also the part near the trade deadline. Will the 76ers try to get a couple role players to help them out? That's also another question you could possibly ask.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people think Commanding veto this trade because it feels weird, but it's like Silver's been pushing on LeBron a bit.
Yeah, if LeBron went to like the Thunder or something, I would have just I wouldn't watch basketball for a while. Maybe ever again.
Yeah, but we'll see how the NBA goes. That's now since that signing has happened, free agency at this point is going to be a bit quiet. I know we heard about DeRozan. We talked about DeRozan.
Yeah, there's still like players available, and we'll keep you updated on our story and everything else.
We'll keep you updated, or at least for big signings. That is it. Thanks for tuning in on Breaking News with the Trade. We'll see you in our next one.
Bye, folks.